Ladies, make sure you're his problem and not his peace. And let me tell you why. Men are naturally problem solvers. So the more problems you give them, the more knowledge they get, the more experience, the more you're helping them. Be his problem, not his peace. Assalamu alaikum.
I still stand by the fact that my husband is the ugliest man that I have ever met 5 years into our marriage.
Oh dear. Well, that's nice, isn't it?
If you are single right now, it's because you want to be attracted to your partner.
And what exactly is wrong with that?
And that is just not realistic.
Wow. It must be pure magic being married to someone that thinks like that.
I don't know how many times women on this app are going to have to say it. Find an ugly-ass man and marry him.
I have to wonder. Do you think their husband knows they think that way about them?
And I'm not talking about a guy that just needs a little brush up, okay? I'm talking about a terminally unattractive man.
Terminally unattractive. Right. I wonder if they're referring to their own personality.
I sleep with an eye mask at night so that I have time in the morning to mentally prepare before I make eye contact with my husband.
I think he could do better.
But here I am, married, and you're not, so who's laughing?
I think quite a few of us are laughing, especially those of us that understand that just because a person happens to be married doesn't make them any better than anyone else, as we have just seen demonstrated.
This is the most accurate thing you'll see all day.
I just want to hook up with a guy who's hot. I just want a guy who's good looking and fun. I'm looking for a man who's in shape, has a good job, and wants kids. I'm looking for a man who communicates, is family oriented, and is looking to have kids within the next 2 to 3 years. Here are my non-negotiables. He has to have a business degree, be spiritually grounded, nice to his family, never wears necklaces, went to summer camp, and has brown hair. I am never doing blonde again. I think I'm gonna start dating women.
Yo, ain't this the truest shit ever, especially in modern dating? Whole phase, more whole phase. You know what I'm saying? Then the standards start to get higher and higher. Then get into your graduated boss babe phase where now your standards are through the roof when your back's already been blown out. You got mad traumas, all the people you done tried and it didn't work out. So now that's rules for the next guy that he got to take care of, or it's going to go against him when he didn't do nothing to you. And then now you're in that phase where the wall's hitting you. Nobody wants you. Boss babe phase over, going into your 40s and you're like, you know what? Fuck it, I'ma just like women at this point. And it's crazy because, you know, this shit is good. This shit is very realistic and it shows, you know, someone that knows how it goes, probably got friends that done this shit. And it's just a sad reality, yo. When as a guy, we ain't shit early, ain't shit that much later, then become shit. And then, you know, kind of want to have fun like you did in your 20s, depending on who you ask, or the guy that wants to settle down and he can't find no one because this is all that's left. Damn, que buena vida, huh?
I had a client who told me that one day after work, she was making dinner. She got home before her husband from a job where she was the breadwinner of the house. And when he walked in, he looked at her standing there in the kitchen cooking and said, "It's about time you start acting like a wife in the kitchen," like it was a joke. And it was in that moment that she knew there was no universe where this man could meet her where she was. There was no version of him that could love her the way she wanted to be loved. Not because of her, but because he didn't have access to that level of love, right? His misogyny was standing like a locked door between them. He wanted the role she played, not the person that she was. He wanted the comfort of her labor, but not the fullness of who she was as a human. He wasn't threatened by the chore. He was threatened by her rising. And here's the truth. A man who holds misogyny close will always mistake your needs for disrespect. He'll interpret your independence as disobedience. He'll call your boundaries attitude. He can't love you deeply because deep love requires equality, and he's never practiced that kind of intimacy. So if you're sitting in a relationship right now wondering, why can't he meet me where I'm at? Why won't he try? And you feel smaller and smaller every year, it's not you. It's the system that he refuses to outgrow. And every minute that you stop trying to earn love from someone who doesn't have the capacity for it, you stop losing yourself in the process. I'm Betsy Paik, and I help women make big decisions on whether to stay or leave their marriage.
Talking to a guy recently, and I told him that after seeing his behavior, I didn't think he was husband material. And despite the fact that he had been consistently moving like an F-boy, he was really offended. Bearing in mind, this is after he had stood me up for our first day. Stood me up / forgotten, fallen asleep, whatever. Anyway, he was consistently trying to pursue me after that. And I was not interested. It led me down this incredible rabbit hole where I started to ask myself, like, why do you care whether I, someone you don't take seriously, clearly, doesn't see you as husband material? Like, why does that bother you so much? At this point in my life, I'm in my 30s. I'm taking dating a lot more seriously. I have a checklist of things that I'm looking for. And honestly, I just think that God loves me a lot more than to send me someone who is that deeply unserious. But clearly, some guys like the idea of...
This is your reminder that the man you choose to be your husband will become the backbone of your entire life. So here is the most common, the most confusing, and the most dangerous red flag of them all. And what happens if you marry the guy? He doesn't plan the dates. He says, well, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? He might even expect you to pay half or all of the bill. Here's how it plays out in marriage. The entire load of your shared life is on your shoulders alone. And at first it feels harmless. You're like, I don't mind picking the restaurant. I don't mind paying my half. This is not about equality or money. A man with very little money can still create romance, sandwiches and a sunset, or a walk to a playlist he made for you because you mentioned that you liked movie soundtracks. Effort is a love language and it's free. What this red flag reveals is a low effort man. A man who has never cultivated the masculine qualities of initiation, leadership, and ownership. This is a man who wants life to be as easy as possible and assumes getting a woman should be easy too, and is actively looking for a woman who will add to his ease. Fast forward, you've got a mortgage and a job, of course, because you have to pay your half, and a baby, and you haven't slept in weeks, and all you want is a shower. You ask him to take the kids for 20 minutes, and instead of stepping up, he riddles you with questions the whole time and makes everything so complicated that you don't really even get your shower. A punishment for disrupting his ease because he cannot tolerate discomfort and has zero initiation capacity. He's just never built the muscles. Here's the trickiest part. These men often feel so fun, so laid back and easygoing and non-judgmental, almost like a child. Your nurturing instinct kicks in and you mistake it for love. This does not work in marriage. Don't even get me started on the sex. No woman feels desire for a man she has to mother. Period. But a grown, grounded man, he sees you tired and says, babe, I've got the kids. Take a shower. I'll be back with coffee. You don't even have to ask. That's initiation. That's leadership, and that is ownership. That is a man who says, this is my woman and my family, and it is my job to protect them and make sure that they have everything they need. And qualities like that compound like interest in every aspect of your life so that you end up the wealthy wife and not the tired mommy. If you're new here, my name's Ada. I help women break their self-abandonment patterns so that they can finally call in their soulmate love, good love that you deserve. And if this is your season for healing those patterns, then you're in the right place. Hit the follow button and walk with me for a little while.
Is this how the women with shitty husbands have to live every single day? My husband's been sick for like the last 3 days, so I'm doing all the housework, the cooking, the cleaning, the dishes, the laundry, whatever. This sucks, and I don't even have kids. You guys are doing this by yourself and with all of your children. I would kill him in the night. I will say, it is literally killing my husband that he cannot do things. I am forcing him to lay down and rest because he wants to get up and be helpful. I cannot imagine if I'm cooking, cleaning, doing everything, taking care of the kids, and he is sitting on the couch doing God knows what.
I told the girls to stop loving their boyfriends and they wanted to bite my head off. But listen, hear me out. You see, these days, a lot of girls are giving this full amount of sacrificial love to a boyfriend. But think about it. How does one become a boyfriend? He sits across from you and he asks, I like you, or I love you. Will you be my girlfriend? Right? That's usually how it goes for like 99% of the population. So for that amount of commitment, he didn't have to bring in your family. He didn't have to sign any contracts. He didn't have to profess any love. He didn't have to put down any down payments. He just used some simple words. Will you be my girlfriend? And now you're crying, dying, doing everything, sacrificing your whole life. Oh my gosh, giving birth. That's why I say, ladies, calm down, enjoy yourself. You see, a boyfriend is meant to be enjoyed, to be experienced. You're supposed to go through life enjoying yourselves, going on dates, having fun, seeing what he's about. It's not the time for you to be saying, look, daddy, watch me twirl.
Hey, daddy, watch me twirl. Daddy.
No auditioning. no auditioning for any man. Because why? Girls, don't you know, as the woman in the relationship, you are the aura, you are the light, you are the warmth. So why would you audition for a chance to wash a man's laundry or to cook him his meals? It's ridiculous, you know? And when you put all of your whole life, soul, being, into someone that the last iOS update they had for you was, will you be my girlfriend? No contracts, no money was put down, nothing was invested. When you get to that stage where you do want to marry, you're going to feel like you're owed something. You're going to be like, oh, he needs to marry me because I had his kids. Or, girl, you don't want to go into marriage feeling like you're owed something. You want to go into marriage like, wow, I really like this guy. I appreciate him. He's amazing. You know, we've had an amazing time. He's really showed me that he's committed. Now I'll let him marry me. Not, So when I say, don't love your boyfriend, I mean, stop giving your whole soul and energy into it. Enjoy yourself. Have a tea. Love your life. Travel. Enjoy. And then, and only if you want to be married. I know some people out there don't even want to be married. But then when he puts down some more, you know, something on the table, then you say, all right, you know what? I'll choose you. Girls, let's switch back the energies, because for too long I've been seeing on the internet and all over the place, you know, men have been having us on the rope for like 100 years now. It's time to flip it, because I don't like what's going on here in the streets. Okay. Bye, girls.
More signs he doesn't like you. Yes, sometimes we are in love with men that don't like us. So what are the signs? Let's talk about them. My name is Birdie. I'm a wedding planner. So I see people get married and unfortunately divorce. And a lot of times I can see that he doesn't like the bride before they even get married. So let's talk about signs he doesn't like you. A, he walks in front of you. Everywhere you go, he's in front of you. He's not beside you or behind you. Behind you is okay. It's like a protective thing. But walking in front of you and not even looking back to see where you are. He doesn't like you. Your problems are his annoyance. So if you are coming to him with something, even if you're just venting, he's more annoyed, upset, angered. He's not there to help you. Like a man that loves you, even if you don't want his help, is going to try to solve the problem. If he's not attempting to solve your problems, he doesn't love you. He doesn't love you. If he doesn't just randomly tell you how beautiful you are. Like a man that is really in love gets glimpses of the woman that he loves and tells her how beautiful she is. Randomly, not all the time. But if he doesn't randomly do that, he doesn't love you.
You know, and looking at these men, you can see why men don't want to be bothered with foolishness. These modern women have a skill at learning and understanding and knowing how to ruin each other's lives. Doesn't matter why. That because they're bitter. They just want to have something to complain about. And that's really the core issue right there. Nothing is ever right. Nothing is ever perfect enough for me. You could be average looking. You could be looking like a lot of these women look. I'm looking at this woman right now. The audacity that a lot of these women have. Let me go ahead and look. Just, you know, no. The fact that you got, well, if he doesn't do this, if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. You guys speak in such a way as if you're a top tier person. And it's not just looks, it's your attitude. Y'all move around as though y'all don't ever cause any problems in y'all's relationships. Big problems.
What a lot of women don't realize is your biggest downfall will come from trusting a man or feeling sorry for a man. Oh, but I feel bad for him. Oh, I don't want to hurt his feelings. He would hurt your feelings. A man will never hesitate to choose himself. Even him being with you, treating you well, is him choosing himself. You are just receiving the benefit of that. If he's treating you well, taking you out, all of that, it's because he gets to have you in his life. It benefits him. It makes him happy. Because look how quick these men switch up when they decide they don't want you anymore. They will always choose themselves. They will always put their own needs first. And you need to learn from that and adopt the same behavior and put yourself first. Speak your truth. Ask for what you want. Or if you don't want to be with him anymore, let him know. Stop giving people endless chances. Stop feeling bad for them. Their behavior behave how they want, then when they apologize and they're like, oh, I miss you and all of this, you feel sorry for them. When they are just manipulating you, they're just saying what they need to say to get what they want from you. You can't be like, oh, I want to have more confidence, I want things to be better in my life. But when it comes to you choosing yourself and prioritizing your needs and what you want, you don't. You start worrying about how other people feel. You prioritize their feelings instead of your own. And I'm not saying you have to be horrible about it. Your delivery can be kind and you can consider people's feelings, but you will prioritize your own. So prioritize your peace and never hesitate to pick yourself.
Remember in college when everyone failed the test so bad that the professor's like, okay, I've decided to grade this on a curve. The highest score is now 100% and so on. I've noticed that that's kind of the same energy that men are giving off, that it's like, they know that other people are going to do so bad on the test that they're hoping to be graded on a curve. That it's like, well, yes, I'm not very good, but at least I'm not as bad as that guy. They benefit from men who are absolutely violent and dangerous and whatever. Because then in the eyes of women, they're hoping they're going to be doing the comparison. And women are like, no, I don't care how bad it could get. These are things that you need to do. I don't care if someone is getting a 47% out of 100. This is still what gets you an A. You need to get 100 out of 100 to get an A+. For the longest time, we weren't really allowed to do that. We weren't allowed to not grade them on a curve because it's like, well, you got to pick somebody. Well, that's not true anymore. We don't have to pick somebody. We can just live our lives on our own and have the same standard of living and economic access as they do. It's never the top performers who really want to be graded on a curve. It's always the people who are slacking, trying to get by with as little as possible. They want the bar to be lowered for them, to make it seem mean, for us to hold them to the correct standard. They make that seem impossible. And it's like, hey man, this is the test. It's not my fault that you are and everyone else are failing.
But the only problem, and once again, this is when the professor doesn't see that they've worded the questions on the test incorrectly. They don't see that they've, like say for instance, you give your students a study guide. Hey, this is what you need to know. This is not going to be exactly, but it's going to kind of be the spirit of the test. Okay, so you look at it and you study the concepts around it, and then you say, okay, I feel good. But then you get on the test and it's like, this is nothing like what we studied. Have you ever been there where you get on the test and you be like, man, I've never in my whole entire, and I come to class every session, I've never heard of this concept ever. That's what modern women are. A lot of these concepts that y'all are talking about, people have never ever heard of. And now you're saying you got to have this. I'm not giving you any leeway. You just failed. You should have known it. Read every single word in the book. Have you read every single word in the book? I don't need to. I'm the professor. I mean, if you're testing us on this and you don't even understand the concept, then how are you going to fail us for something that you don't even understand? How are you going to fail us for something that you didn't even teach? How are you going to fail us for something that you don't even quite frankly know exists? You're an idiot professor. And that's how a lot of you modern women sound. You tried with this analogy and you almost made it.
If I was a guy, I'd be so scared to be in a relationship in America because they are willing to be traditional, but the women are not. And they get nothing in return for their money, their time, or their resources. And the girl ends up cheating or not willing to cook or make a sandwich. And it's just, I'm so happy I'm not a man.
The reason that you have a lot of these guys now saying that they don't want to be in relationships and they don't want to date and it's not worth it to them is just because it's like, I'm giving you what you're asking for. I'm giving you what you say you need. And then when it comes to me asking for what I need, you're just like, no, right? You're just not willing to do it.
You know, I see why men are staying single because look around. We have women out here bragging about not cooking, not cleaning, not taking care of their home, not being soft, and not being supportive. And then expecting a man to show up as a provider, leader, planner, protector, and lover, while giving him absolutely nothing in return. And yes, I will be the one to say it. A home needs a woman who actually enjoys being a woman. A woman who takes pride in making her home feel warm and peaceful. A woman who loves her man in the same way that she wants to be loved. That is not oppression, that is care. Men are tired of being treated like a walking wallet. Tired of disrespect. Tired of begging for affection and a little peace. So, they are choosing to stay single, not because they hate women, but because they are looking for a woman that values her role just as much as his. And honestly, I don't blame them, because relationships only work when both people show up and give.
Why are single men happier than you think? A lot of single men are not actually miserable. A lot of them are doing better than fine. Society likes to push the idea, oh, men are lost without a woman. That's a lie. For years now, men have been told that their happiness only comes from marriage and kids and overall settling down. But modern relationships don't offer men the same benefits that they used to. Men aren't wrong for asking what's in it for me before they go into a really serious relationship. Single men today have financial freedom and overall peace of mind. They have control over their own lives. They're traveling, building businesses, hitting the gym, and overall going after their goals. And until women are willing to offer a little bit more in relationships, this is going to continue. Holding men to these outdated expectations, but also a variety of new ones that show up every single day, is just not doing it for them. And they're not going to continue having relationships if this keeps up.
Men cannot accept that women are single by choice because most men are not single by choice.
What type of men exactly are they talking to? Because most of the guys that I know that are single are happily so.
And I'm sure I'll have many men in the comments being like, I'm single by choice. No, you're not.
Why? Because it's inconceivable to some that a lot of men's standards are too high to date a lot of the women that they meet out there?
Most women are single by choice because getting a man is the absolute easiest thing to get.
I wonder if they know that getting a man and then keeping a man are two different things.
Men don't want to believe that, but guess what? Y'all are easy.
I've often found that it takes experts in those particular matters to recognize it in others.
On the other side of the coin, women are mostly difficult to get, okay? And especially now in 2025, women have standards that most men do not ever plan on reaching. And if they do, it is usually a temporary fix until the mask falls.
That might have something to do with the fact that almost every woman out there considers herself to be a 10 out of 10 and expects their man to also be a 10 out of 10. Quite frankly, a lot of women have unrealistic expectations.
I got divorced when my baby was only 1 year old, and that always comes with a lot of questions like, how did I know it was time for divorce? My ex-husband and I were two very independent people. I always explain it as like we were riding down the same river, but we were in two separate boats. I'm waving at him, he's waving at me, but we're doing our own thing. But when you have a baby, you don't get to ride in two separate boats anymore. You have to combine to become a team. And he was not able to do that. And our baby was riding in my boat, and we were riding down the river by ourselves. I was living life as a single mom while being married. And at that point, it's like, why the fuck am I married? We tried therapy. I do take blame though in the fact that he would always say, well, this is who I've always been. He was right. He was acting like he always did. I had just told myself, oh, when we have a baby, it'll be different. A word from the wise. Someone shows you who they are. Believe if he's a grown-ass adult man, he is not going to change. And when that fighting started affecting my baby, that is how I knew. I grew up in a household of two people who should not have stayed married for the kids, but they did. I think that's one of the worst things you could do. I saw a loveless marriage. I saw constant fighting. I didn't get to see what a healthy marriage and relationship looks like. And now we've been separated for over 3 years. We co-parent like champions. Our son is the happiest kid ever. Austin gets to see not only two incredibly healthy, happy parents, real examples of what marriage and relationship is supposed to look like. For that, I am forever grateful.
And this is all based on what you say. He's the happiest ever. And it might be true, but this is all based on what you say, how you see things. Oh, I didn't get to see a happy marriage. I didn't get to do this. I didn't get to do that. And this is what I was just talking about a minute ago. My God. This is what I was just talking about a minute ago. You don't even know what's on the test. You've never even seen it. I'm going to test you on all the words in the book, and it's your responsibility as a student to know every part of that book. You're the one pay for the class, so you better know it. You don't know it. You've never even seen it. You don't even know the concept exists. You've never even encountered it. How would you go? You know what it looks like? It looks like you didn't search online and then said, "Hey, ChatGPT." What it looks like is what you've done is you've taken the entire textbook and you've uploaded it to ChatGPT in parts. And you said, "Look through all of the things that I've just uploaded and then give me a test on this chapter. Give me a final exam." "Oh, I'm not grading on a curve because you still need to know this." You don't even know it exists. You're looking at okay, give me a test, give me the answers, make it about 100 questions and put it in a Word document so I can just hand it off to them. I can print and hand it to them. And then I have the scoring key, so then I just go through and I score it, or I pay a student to do it, and my work is done as a professor. Only you don't understand until the students say, "Hey man, this ain't fair." Because when we question you about, okay, when do we know this? When did we learn this? Where did we get this from? Because I've never ever seen this. When I start questioning you about that, all of a sudden you're like, "Oh man, I'm the student," or "I'm the teacher, you the student, I'm the professor, you the student, or you here to learn from me." But I didn't learn from you because you didn't say anything. That's my point. I paid all this money for you to be a trash professor. That's my point. And you don't listen. "Oh, I'm tenured. I do this. I can do that," until I go to the dean on you. "Oh, well, one ain't gonna matter." And then another one, and then another one, and then another one. And now the dean got to sit you down and talk to you about your behavior and your conduct. So many modern women think, "Oh, well, I got a good job. I got a good car. I got this. I got that. I'm untouchable. I can do whatever I want. I'm unstoppable," as that song says. But you're not. You're an idiot. And this is what we talk about here. I've never even seen my parents were this. This is the reality that I was in. Come trouncing up here trying to tell a man how to be a man. You hadn't even seen him trying to come trouncing up here trying to tell people be in a relationship. And you ain't even seen that. You ain't even seen that. Come on, man. For people that didn't see a healthy marriage, didn't see parents working together, didn't see parents fighting and fussing and then getting it right and then come back to you and say, "I'm sorry, me and your mom were doing this," and explain the situation and go out for pizza. Didn't see it. And you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Get the heck off my screen.
When you start feeling like you're the fucking nagging wife, and men are like, "You're such a nag," and I'm like, do you know what we hate more than anything in the fucking world is nagging. Honestly, I can't even cope. I hate being a nag. I hate being a nag. But yet, if people aren't showing up in the way that they should be showing up, you've got two choices. Tell them, "Hey, you're not fucking showing up, and if you don't show up, you can fuck off." Or, fuck off already. Just get fucked. Can we not raise the bar ever so slightly higher? Can we maybe not just applaud bare minimum? But I've been spending so much time somehow slipping back into old patterns where I'm spending all of my fucking headspace trying to push him forward, trying to elevate him to the place that he would need to be in order for us to be able to reconnect. Because the honest to God truth is that I want him to be the one. It makes me want to cry. Look at the fucking state of me. This is who I've become again. Literally. I'm committed to not feeling like this anymore, bro. If you are with me and you also needed just a little reminder to get your fucking shit together, here we are. Love you. You got this.
Let me make this crystal clear for all of you women who say men just don't understand, they just don't get me, men don't date anymore, men don't pay bills anymore, men don't want to make love anymore. If any man is having any issues with doing any of this, it's because you are not her to him. Because when you're her, when you're that girl, we listen, we provide, we protect, we can't wait to pay your bills, we're romantic, we're understanding, we text back fast, we pick up the phone on the first ring, whether we're at work, whether they're at church, whether they're at Juma. They want to take trips. They want to do whatever it is that they can do just to be next to you. Because when you're her, he's going to turn into that him. And whatever him you need him to be, he's going to acclimate because you mean that much to him. So if these men aren't treating you the way that you feel like you want to be treated, you're just not her to him, because he'll leave you and go be him to her. I give some of the best advice in the world. Book your one-on-one private calls, link in the bio. Get your tickets to see me live in Baltimore, New York, Jersey, Connecticut. Yikes.
So y'all know the video going around where every girl is saying why they don't want to live with a man. I guess it's my turn. I don't mind living with a man, boo. All the stuff that y'all was saying don't make no sense to me. The way I look right now is how I look every single day. It doesn't make a difference. From the first FaceTime, this is how I look. You're going to see me in my natural habitat, boo. You're not going to see me baddie out bad. No, baddie is 1% of the 99% of the time, babe. Like, off rip, first, as soon as we land in bed, I ain't holding no farts. Let that out. Better out than in always. Got a burp, excuse me. Got a booger, might pick it. Nose itchy, I'm in it. Butt itch, I'm scratching it. If I smell like I'm musky, I'ma smell my armpit and say, ooh, I'm musky. Like, reason why y'all wanna live with a man because y'all fake. That's really what it is. Y'all put on a facade. I don't put on a facade. What you see is what you get. I'm 100% me. Always will be. You either like me for me or you don't. I don't care. Think I care? I don't. Men like you in your natural habitat. They like when you look a mess. They like when you come in from outside. They wanna eat you from the rooter in the tutor when you done been outside for 24 hours straight. Booty is sweaty. They want to eat it. Girl gonna talk about because she want to be musky in peace. I smell my armpits and say, ooh, I'm musky. I'm musky in peace. Move, babe, I'm musky. The right one's gonna be like, let me smell it, let me smell it. The only thing I got rules for is I just want separate bathrooms for you. I really don't want to share a bathroom with a man. That's it. But I love living with a man. Who is gonna fix this stuff? Not I. Who gonna take this trash out? Not me. Who gonna take the car to the shop? Who? Not me. Who gonna pay these bills? Not me.
I do think there's room for reflection when it comes to how we discuss and interpret Black women's experiences. I don't think you've ever lied, but I do suspect sometimes your lens is skewed a bit, which is what a sociologist is trained to push back on. I also have a BA in sociology and anthropology. Food for thought. Are there any words you would use to describe the lens or the stance that you think that I kind of taking?
Based off of a lot of the content that I've seen, your platform is more supportive to men. And when I say supportive, I don't mean that derogatorily. I don't mean that like that's a bad thing. My platform mostly supports women, right? So same thing. So when I find sometimes, and I'll use me as an example, that when I see things at times, I may have a natural reaction because I'm an advocate for Black women, but I take a moment to be like, is this factual? Is it true? And is it fair, the assessment that's being made? And I think on your platform, because your heart seemingly is geared towards men and their well-being, I think that when you look at data, you're looking at it at time, at least the data that I have seen you sparse through. So I can't say that that is just how you view data. But I think that sometimes it can be skewed to align with your beliefs, supports, and experiences that men have had. I think that when we are passionate about a demographic, everything could potentially lead towards what we want it to say in support of them, even if it's not. It's not like when people read the Bible based off of their beliefs and what the Bible does.
You're kind of saying it's like almost like confirmation bias. You know,
yeah, similar.
I have never set out to support men.
That's interesting.
I have this conversation, like I actually have these conversations offline with people who know me in real life. I'm like, I never set out to do that. That is literally it's not in my intentions. What I think I do is I talk about like, I call it reality. I really believe I'm on like the side of truth. Like, what is reality?
Yeah.
And especially, so particularly I deal in the area of marriage, family, health, and wellness. So I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I was in the fitness industry for 10 years, personal trainer, group trainer, health coach, fitness nutrition specialist. So all of these things are like, these are like my 4 pillars. Problems in those areas, most men seem to be able to see it. And most women seem to not see it. I think that's why my content seems geared to men, because I think men are more able, likely, and willing to be in the truth of the things related to marriage, family, health, and wellness.
And that's what a lot of men are gravitating towards with Taylor, is the reality. This is the reality of it. This is the reality of what's going on. Regardless of what my feelings are about the situation, because I have feelings that might not align with the reality, what the reality is, but that is the reality of it. And I have to accept it even though I might not like it.
My husband is mad at me because he walked in and he saw that I'm making breakfast, and I told him that this was for me and my daughter, and that if he wanted some, he needed to cook for himself. I told him I was not going out of my way to make breakfast for him. This is only for me and my daughter. Like, if you're that hungry, there's a McDonald's down the street, or there's eggs in the fridge and there's bacon, and you can make it yourself. He's acting like this not cooking for him thing is brand new. I gave him a list of things that I don't do the day that we got married, and he was okay with it. So what's the problem now? I told him, if you don't want to cook, you could wait and see if there's any leftovers. If there's leftovers, go ahead and eat. If there's no leftovers, then I'm sorry, you're gonna have to figure it out. But I am not gonna cook for you. It's not my job to cook for you. I'm sorry. And then on top of that, I'm doing scrambled eggs. He wants a fried egg. No, I'm sorry. That's too much work for me. I'm not gonna do it. Plus, he's so picky with his food that he might as well just cook it himself. So like that, he doesn't have nothing to complain about.
Why does every man I meet want kids? Why do you all want kids? Have we looked around recently? You guys, I feel like I'm going crazy. And I don't think it's too woke of me to think critically about these things in this manner, because any way I look at it, whether it's political or economic or social or financial, etc., it does not make any sense to have a biological traditional family in this country at this time or in the next 5 or 10 years. Yet every man that I am remotely interested in drops the bomb of, yeah, I want kids. Read the room. What are you talking about?
Men just want you for an experience.
This should be interesting. Few discretion is advised.
Half the time with pretty women, men don't even take them serious. You're an experience for them. You're a cat and a mouse game for them. Can I get her? Pretty punishment. Getting all this attention from men, they get you, they dog you because of their internal insecurity. They don't even know what to do with a pretty broad.
I don't think that's how it works. Let's start by addressing her first point. Men want you just for an experience. Sweetheart, we are all an experience. Your attributes as a person create an experience for the person that is receiving you. Whether it be your personality, your charisma, your discipline, your conversation, your sex, all of this is an experience you are now creating for the opposite person. And the best part is you determine who receives the experience. So everybody wants everybody for an experience. It's not just pretty women. Now, whether or not your experience piques that person's interest when it comes to longevity, that's a conversation that's to be had. But being desired simply because you provide a unique experience isn't something that is unique to pretty women. We all have to deal with that, some more than others. Point number 2. I don't think you're getting pursued and dogged out simply because you're pretty. At some point, you must understand that your dating life is reflective and you are fully responsible for the people you choose to interact with, especially from a romantic space. You mentioned the game of cat and mouse between men and women like it's something that men are in full control of. If that is something you know you are not interested in, you don't have to participate in that game of cat and mouse, but I'm sure you do because you like to be pursued. And in that pursuit, that man must now figure out a way to catch your attention. And once he does that, he must now also figure out a way to keep it. I think the problem that you're having is you don't like to lose in the game that you willingly participated in. It's all fun and games when the pursuit is on, but as soon as it's not, now we got a problem. How convenient. Point number 3. Every time somebody does something harmful to you in a relationship, it is not always rooted in some sort of insecurity or some underlying hatred that they have towards you. Your mistreatment in your past relationships are not because you are an attractive woman. They are simply because that person is just a bad person and they make poor decisions, very similarly to how you made a poor decision choosing them.
I'm not saying all men, but that's some of the pretty punishments of it. Pretty privilege. You have access to all these friends, these networks, these groups. Pretty punishment. Are you my real friend? Do you really like me? Do you really care about me? Or do you just like the pretty benefits that comes with me?
Although I find it extremely odd that you would befriend somebody simply because they are attractive, I also understand that is common practice in the female community. I don't know why or who came up with it, but I do know that behavior is pushed and promoted amongst the women. And to that, I would say this. My Uncle Ben once told me, with great power comes great responsibility. which in turn says you are pretty enough to receive the privilege, but it also says you are responsible to manage the outcomes of said privilege. Very similarly to a rich man that has to decipher which woman is here for him and which woman just wants his money. These things that you speak of are truly just commonalities that a lot of people face. They're not as unique as you think they are. And not only that, they are not punishments. They are simply basic concepts in life. But I know she ain't gonna want to hear shit that I'm saying because I'm just a normal guy. Yeah, keep the change.
And once again, this is part of the reason why men aren't interested in dating in today's society. It's like you said, you like it when the chase is on and you're the center of attention. A man is pursuing you, right? When everything is in your favor, as most modern women do. But when it comes time to, okay, now I have to show some interest. Now I have to, he's asking for a return on his energy, on his time. He's finally coming back after a month or two and saying, okay, I've been treating you. I've been courting you for about a month. Now I would like to see if you actually like me. Then all of a sudden it's sassy, it's this, it's so many other things that we can get into. But modern women, they always want the eyes on them and nobody else.
Don't care about I never heard a dude go in the club and say, yo, I love her eyelashes.
Wait, and I actually have a great answer for that.
This is about to get real.
Remember, y'all, remember the sound. So this is the thing. You will probably look at a woman, right? Mm-hmm. And you be like, damn, she's gorgeous. You have no idea that one of the things that actually makes her face look as beautiful.
How you gonna tell me I don't have no idea?
Okay.
How you gonna tell me I don't got no idea?
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
He's in Atlanta.
Because I'm looking at the woman. I'm looking at the woman. I'm not looking at your eyelashes. I'm not looking at the way you contoured your nose. I'm not looking at that.
This is the thing.
So are men wrong, right? And I'm asking you and this young lady over here. Are men wrong when you create this facade, right? Because majority of what you're showing us is a facade. Mm. It's makeup, it's eyelashes, it's fake hair, it's fake nails, it's Spanx, it's waist trainers, it's all of these things.
False advertising.
Right? False advertisement. Thank you, sir. Did I say that? Right? When I, the consumer, like the product, and then the product doesn't turn into what the product actually changes when I take it home and buy it, and I say, oh wait, this is not the product that I wanted.
Where's your receipt?
When I ghost you, why am I an asshole?
Well, I think the problem is if you're going after women who have on caked up makeup.
You see?
None of the women at church are virgins. And the guys at church, a lot of them are. A lot of them think waiting till marriage is the right thing to do. The thing about church is they're telling all the young people, wait till you're married to have. The issue is that the guys are listening to this advice and the women are not. I'm telling you, it's not. I tell guys, you cannot wait till you're married to have. You can't be a virgin guy marrying a non-virgin woman, bro.
Because the woman will have too much leverage.
Yeah, and she's going to be able to control you. Guys are getting into situations where they marry a woman and then their wife is allowed to deny them, which I already think is wrong.
If you chose a man that needs to be different in order for you to love him and in order for you to accept him, then you're not the woman you pretend to be because you need him to change into something so you feel okay about your choice. And that is not empowerment. That is a woman that is in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you're scared. You're perceiving a threat somewhere, and you believe femininity or vulnerability is weakness. So instead of softening, you would rather puff up like a puffer fish and pretend you're above it and hyper focus on the other person and act like you're better than them and above them when you're really not. You're not. Masculine and more controlling women are some of the loudest women when it comes to, I'm confident and I don't need no man. But actually, they are the least self-worthy. They don't believe in their own self-worth. They're not actually tapped into it because anyone that needs to resort to control and domination is someone who needs something outside of them. A woman or a man that is whole does not actually need anything. And so the whole I need you to change and I need you to be this version of you and it makes no sense to them because they don't need the person to be different. They accept them as they are and they're like, okay, well, this isn't really what I want for myself, so I'll walk away, or this is how I accepted this person, this is how I love them, and I don't need them to change. But the woman that stays in something that she claims is not her standard
is a woman that doesn't have the standard she claims to have because you're not meeting it.
Ladies, you can be consistent too. I posted a video the other day trying to speak for y'all, trying to articulate some of the needs that y'all have in regards to consistency and y'all not necessarily wanting a man to do the same thing over and over again more than you want him to be consistent with intentionality. And some of y'all use my video to weaponize against men. But what about you, sis? Can you be consistent? Can you be consistent with supporting that man? Can you be consistent with regulating your emotions in a healthy way instead of always projecting these unhealthy, unhealed, traumatic emotions onto that man? Can you be consistent with not always telling that man how you feel and sometimes coming to him with a logical standpoint? Can you be consistent? What about you, sis? What about you? Y'all say if he wanted to, he would, and you right. But guess what? If she wanted to, she would. So stop acting like relationships are one-sided. Stop acting like that man don't have needs too, that he don't have feelings too. Stop acting like that man don't need consistency with intentionality too. Can you be consistent? Can you be consistent with not making everything in the relationship about you? Can you be consistent when he gives his feelings or he gives his issue and not making it about how he said it or what he said to you? Can you be consistent with accountability? Can you, can you be consistent with having peace within yourself so you don't have to be that man's peace because you are a peaceful person? Can you be consistent? Now let me see you weaponize this.
What's your age?
18.
What's the most amount of money you've spent on a man in one night?
Like $10. Like 20.
Out of all your relationships, that's the most?
I'd say, yeah.
Okay, let's flip it. What's the most amount of money a man has spent on you in a night?
Like 20,000. Around there.
20,000?
Yeah.
Were you all together at the time, or?
Yeah, we were. It was a two-man.
It was a two-man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here in Miami.
How do you even get into that situation?
We just walk around here and they'll hit us up. Yeah. Or they're like they'll come up to us and ask for our numbers or something.
It's that easy?
Yeah. No, it's not that easy. It is, but it's not.
Okay. So when that guy spent 20K on the two of you, like, what happened?
We just hung out. We just hung out. Yeah. We had dinner. We had dinner. Went to a few clubs. Went on the yacht.
So coming out of that experience, is that the expectation going forward from like your man?
Yes.
You want him to drop the bag on you?
He doesn't have to, but I'd prefer.
Okay.
We just feel like if we're gonna settle for someone, we want to settle for someone worth it. Yeah. And who values us. Exactly. Because we don't care for being in a relationship, so they have to be special.
But these guys who did that, were you in a relationship with them or no?
No. It was the first time we met. Literally.
If he's that bad of a person, why are you choosing him, ma'am? Why are you sleeping with him? Why are you having a baby with him? If he's that bad of a person, when did he become toxic? When did your relationship become toxic? Before the child or after the child? Let me tell you when it became toxic. That relationship became toxic when he had some fucking standards about himself. When he sat there and he told you, listen, you cannot go out there with your ass out because in 10 years and 15 years, when our kid grows up, they're going to be saying, hey, I done seen your mama's butt cheeks when she was younger. Your mama still busted out like that? Trust me, I was the number one person to talk about somebody until they wanted to fight when I was young. I was that guy. And if I had any ammunition like that, oh man, I would have had kids going home crying. They would have been totally upset. Call it bullying, call it whatever you want. I would have called it keep your mama out the damn street. If your mama got her ass out like that, in 15 years, it's just going to be like the Freaknik.
And you'll notice that everybody behind it is keying. Everybody laughing. It's funny. Oh, look at this. What's going on? What's happening? I don't know. What happened to jeans and a t-shirt? What happened to that? What happened to just attending the concert in jeans and a t-shirt? What? At this point, with the way these modern women be dressing, I'll take a tank top. A tank top and a skirt. God, dog. I mean, pushing the limits. Modern women have pushed the limits of modesty so far out of whack that when they wear something that's really out of line, you compare it to what they've been wearing, and you're like, man, I'm just glad you wearing that many clothes. I'm just glad you're doing that. You usually walk out of here with your behind showing. And like he said, your kid is gonna have to hear that type of nonsense.